Hello there, it's 12 o'clock right now, where I live, which is in the Colorado state, if you didn't know. It is true, I live in Colorado, America, at the moment, in the city of Denver, though it's actually Aurora, though I think it's Denver, but, you know, people who know what Aurora means get really mad about that, so. They look the same to me, Denver and Aurora, but, like, you know, if you lived here 100 years... You would know the differences, which I haven't. I've only lived here since 2014, when they started smoking marijuana. It's the first time people smoked in America here in Colorado. 2014, it's all the rage. You should come check it out. I am a marijuana shaman. If you want to see sort of what it can show you, but you know, I'm getting off topic. Sorry about that. Already derailed. It's 12 o'clock, which means it's the next day, right? That's how days work. At 12 o'clock it becomes tomorrow, which is Friday. And today was my Friday, so it's kind of like Friday for the both of us. Friday for you, because it's technically Friday. Friday for me, because I'm still up from yesterday. See? So it's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. More than that, at this time of clock, it became 10:06, which happens to be the day that I was born. So, you know, that's nice when your Friday comes on a birthday, and then you're like, oh, hooray. I can. It's like a double celebration. It's like cake and ramen smashed together, if you can imagine such a wonderful thing. So anyway, happy birthday me. 45 years old, American years. So, yeah, we're going to have a celebration by doing a 24-hour stream right now. Starting... Wait a minute.
2 minutes ago.
Starting 2 minutes ago. Josephine is here. Hello, Josephine.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to this 24-hour radio show.
Thank you.
I hope you're ready to take a nap on camera, because we're going to be doing that with lots of things planned. We've got a whole list of shit to do here on the wall. We've been planning this for years and years. First of all, obviously, it's first Friday, so we're going to see go see John Shuck. So, but before that, because he shows up at 11, so we got like a whole half a show before that. Probably we're going to go down. We're going to stay downtown. So we're going to stream during all of these trips. We got all the hardware set up. We spent lots of money on this. But we're going to go see Shuck. We're going to hopefully see the World Changers because they show up at like 8. So I think we're going to stay down there. We're using the train to get down. So that's going to be a fun stream. Live stream on the train from my phone. And then Joe will meet us later down there with sort of reinforcements. Or not
Water,
reinforcements. Provisions.
foods,
Yes,
yep.
things like this.
The heavy stuff.
Right. So, here's to, you know, first Friday. Drinking a little
Cheers.
bit. Cheers to first Friday. Pardon me as I celebrate. You know, it is a celebration as far as like birthday and Friday celebration of a week. It sort of is like in the same way that the chimes on the hourglass or the grandfather clock, the glongs there are sort of celebration.
Sort of.
Like some sort of celebrations.
That's some kind of candy.
Yeah. So happy October, everybody. Happy what is it, Beltane? It was the fucking cross quarter day. No, it wasn't even. It was a whole fucking equinox. One of the good ones, eh? I mean, they're all pretty good. They're all pretty good, but cross-quarter games are like... Excuse me, my apologies. Okay. So I was thinking about the week, and how, like...
3 shots in?
Oh, wait a minute, I didn't take my shot. I was just talking still.
Some liquid edibles brought to you by Cherry.
Pardon me, that is rude. I should have microphoned my mic. It's very rude of me. I can't believe that happened on the stream. Well, you never know what's going to happen on the 24-hour streams. You know, things go fucking crazy. Also, excuse me. Can you, like, leave the room before you're going to cough? This is really important. The microphone's going to get all of this. We talked about this before in the extensive meetings we had about this.
I thought I was pretty clear when I said they're uncontrollable.
We said, if you have to cough... I'm sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. You said that. I remember that you said that. And then after that, you remember that I said... It's fine. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have to do this here. We have that actually scheduled for 6 o'clock, where you show up at one of our business meetings. at Safe Word Studios here, where we do
in the
propaganda and
next 24
pornography
hours.
in this 24-hour stream that we're definitely doing starting right now.
And you're definitely going to see some behind this. Oh, wow, you just coughed.
No, remember, I can cough. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Because of how it's a... And you can't cough. I am really sorry. I thought we had everything worked out. This thing had been planned and meticulously planned. Maybe you should go outside and smoke a cigarette. Remember, when you cough, go smoke. I'm sorry about this. What was it talking about? Oh, the fundraiser. We're doing a fundraiser.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes fundraiser. No, we will show you the behind the scenes meeting at the planning department of our studio, which is called Safe Word Studios, where we plan the pornographies and the propagandas that we're going to be doing, and you get to be there, and you actually you get to vote on a couple of things, because usually there's only 3 votes. It's me and Joe, and of course the vote of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Quab gets the tie-breaking vote, as it were, and we know what Quab wants because of how Quab tells me, because of how I'm the prophet. So basically I get 2 votes, which is great. So you'll be in on those meetings, but you guys get some votes. But your vote only counts as half a vote. I'll explain that later at 6 o'clock when we go into that meeting. And you can help us decide what propaganda we're going to do for the next fiscal quarter, because of how important it is to organize your life based on these sort of fiscal sort of goals. Like, are you even progressing if you can't prove it at a quarterly meeting, you know what I mean? So you're invited to that. Very excited to have you. We have a chair set apart, like not at the table, but you're in the room, you know what I mean? We'll talk about it. But I do want to remind you that we're doing the fundraiser here because of how, remember, the American government doesn't want us to have our post office box anymore because, like, they need us to pay or whatever. So if you would like to send me money, I will give that money to the American government, even though I really feel like churches aren't taxed. I don't know what the fuck. One of my biggest bills is to the American government. It's fucking insane to me. My biggest bill, of course, is cameras. So, time. I gotta pay the fucking intern, you know what I mean, eventually. Because they won't film the camera unless I pay them. So, that's my biggest bill. But then my next bill was definitely like, you gotta fucking pay the government to, I don't even remember why I had to. Do you remember? That was like 4 thoughts ago. Oh, P.O. Box. Because I can't give you guys my home address. Literally, there's literal Nazis stalking me out there in the world because of how, like, I go out in the street and I talk to everybody, even the literal Nazis, like an idiot. Like I'm an idiot is what I mean to say. So, unfortunately, I've talked to all these right-wing motherfuckers. You can check that out in the links below. We'll get the intern on that right away. And, so I can't give you my address because of the danger that it would put sort of everyone in. But I do have a P.O. box, which is not free, like I've been dancing around and explaining. Wait a minute.
Very well.
I think I need to go outside and smoke a cigarette real quick. So if you would like to pay for a month of that P.O. box, that's great. Please send literal American cash in an envelope to P.O. Box 31438 Aurora, Colorado 80041. And maybe I will send you some placebo. I'm not selling placebo for like $10 or $20 or, you know, literal bills in a fucking envelope to this P.O. Box, please and thank you. Or don't. Might be illegal. I don't know. Check the law around you. I don't know where it's legal. I don't know the law, bitch. I only know the moral law of all of reality. I was talking to... So, look, I understand that I'm not on the internet, but I'm still sort of like really enjoying my Pastafarian journey vis-a-vis preaching on the internet isn't the only way I be a Pastafarian. I also talk to people about sort of Pastafarianism and help them in their sort of transition to understanding what we're talking about. And so anytime that I am explaining Pastafarianism to anyone. It feels like, I count that. So, I sort of talk about people who are like, hey, so who the fuck are you? I sort of explain who the fuck I am, which is, this is what I've been doing for the past 7 years, is preaching online about the morality and stuff. And so I have to do the math of it, is what I'm trying to lead to, is that I've got to put, like, the algebra together for people. And so that's what we're going to try to do down here with, because we're Reformed, so we're going to try to start the math over and completely with John Shuck here. Coming up on this broadcast at 11 o'clock in the AM, Mountain, probably daylight time. I don't know. Maybe standard, actually. I'll have to check it out. So I have to do the algebra, and we can go over the algebra right now. If there's anyone in the chat who's like, explain to me how this all works, and hopefully we'll get to do that in the second hour here, which is where we go on Discord and we talk to motherfuckers. Because, like, people have conversations on Discord, and so we have to go there, we have to go to where the conversation is, right? Otherwise we're having, it's just sort of, what I am accusing the cult of, which is sort of circular and masturbatory. So you do have to get out there and engage with the, I'm loath even to call them opponents. Just sort of opposition. I don't know. Seems strong though, doesn't it? But those people who believe differently from you, you have to engage with them and sort of figure out what the fuck they are saying. And also, maybe more importantly, fucking communicate what you're saying. Like, definitely attempt to be heard, because, like, I'm not an atheist, and when atheists walk by, I tend to give them shit for being so passive. And so you can watch some of the videos where I talk shit to atheists. I think I have it in some of the titles. But my argument against atheism is pretty clear, that, like, you can't... There's people who know and there's people who don't know. And there's a sort of onus on those who know to teach. Like, what's the point of having it in your mind and never expressing it? You really have to be heard. You get a voice, a vote, and you've got to express it, or it's like this null vote. And sort of everyone takes credit for the null vote, so it's kind of like you're on everyone's team. And I understand that that sort of sounds good, but you're on the Nazis' team, like, that's the problem, is, I mean, everyone, you know what I mean? So, like, we've got to make our vote, or we're voting for everyone, and it sort of, I hate to be like, nullifies the vote, but, like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's a little more aggressive than that, because nullify the vote is like timesing 0, but what you're actually doing is adding 1 to every vote, which is a little more aggressive than just null voting a 0, right? So it is that everyone gets a vote. Like, it is. You are voting. It's sort of not like you have to go down there. You just sort of have to react, and that's what you're doing. You're a sort of reaction machine. You're a decision machine. Push this button here, would you? Sorry, pardon me. Push this button here.
Which one?
It says live, and it's like, it's like not, yeah, something like that. So, for the first part, the intern is going to be Jo herself here. And unfortunately, she's been, like, bringing me, like, booze and stuff, and I really oughtn't describe the things that are going on in the studio right now. But, it really, really might be sort of extra rude. We might get kicked off of YouTube, basically, is what I'm saying. But it is celebratory. You know what? Why don't we just sort of move on ahead to the sort of Discord part of this? Now, I hope you're not seeing it, because it's asking for my credentials. So I'm going to log into Discord, because this is where the conversation's happening. So we're going to be chilling in this actual Discord here, talking to human people. They tell me. I don't know how to tell if a person is fucking AI anymore. That's the whole point. And if you had watched the latest Tom Cruise film, you would understand that he's trying to tell us that we're already in this circumstance where it's probable that you're sort of a brain in a jar, as it were. That, like, you know, we got to the point where people were rich enough that they were like, oh, my fucking kid died in high school on the night of the fucking prom, right? Mm-hmm. And then everyone was like, oh my god, that's the saddest story. Here's tons of fucking money, right, on the internet. You told your story out loud, it was so traumatic to the whole world that they gave you enough money to literally cryogenically freeze that fucking kid, you know? And then run a simulation on his brain, eventually, right? First they freeze the brain, and then like, you know what, well, I don't know if we're ever going to get to the point where we can thaw these bitches out. But what we can do is put those fucking brains on a fucking simulation, and they'll be able to live their whole lives, and you can fucking enjoy it. You know, sold to you, right? Mm-hmm. Elon Musk probably doing it. That was my Elon Musk voice. That's what it probably looks like. I think it's pretty good. I've heard him. I've listened to him for hours and hours, and I think that's what he sounds like. No, I can't even picture his voice, actually. And I know I've seen some shit in it. He's you were doing the old man in the caves with the gold. And what was he talking about? I was just doing the voice. I wasn't even thinking. Yeah. So they hook your brain up, is what I was saying. Oh yeah. So it's very possible that sort of one of those very dramatic rememberings, much like the guy in Sixth Sense, right? Who was all like, "Man, I remember getting shot. I guess I got better. Hey, look at this kid. He fucking thinks he sees ghosts," right? You know? Mm-hmm. You might be in that situation. It's kind of literally impossible to prove it. It's sort of the point I want to make in this moral argument. Is a lot of people say, yes, I can, and I really want to point out, okay, no, you can't. You've got to agree with me before we move on. You're not understanding me if you don't agree with me. You want to talk about one of the premises that I'm asserting, but you don't criticize any of them. So it makes me feel like you don't have a valid criticism, or you haven't heard them. And I expect it's haven't heard them. I know it's don't have a valid criticism of it, but I expect that's not the actual reason. I think the actual reason they're not is because of the other one, which I've sort of already forgotten at this point, probably because of like the booze and stuff. So I'm trying to get Discord going, but I'm having issues, sort of technical difficulties. So now I'm opening this thing up again, and I'm like trying to get on there, and I've got to enter an email. Now I'm going to enter an email, and unfortunately, oh, look at this. Look at what I say here. This is not responding. Why would that be? Probably because of you, because I'm broadcasting to you. You're probably the one doing this. Now that I think about it, is this, in fact, has this stopped, I wonder, to myself? How would one even know? Because of, like, what I'm saying about you literally can't prove that you're not a fucking, I don't know, brain in a jar, or, like, you know, tragic saved kid. So it's very possible that, like, your body was frozen, shot up into space, you know, storage issues, you know, you're up in there in space with kind of like a solar panel, your brain's all frozen, but they're going to run a whole fucking simulation on you, so you get to live your life. And what's plus is that sort of like it's running concurrently to the real world on this sort of other universe, right? Because there you are in this pocket dimension, let's say. And it's running at a higher frame rate, as it were. Though at a lower fidelity, not to, you know, get too far ahead of the sort of what we're proposing here. But it's possible that your sort of universe, though maybe starts slow, fucking catches up to those people. That in the real universe, time to them crosses yours, and then all of a sudden yours is the predictive universe, and theirs is the one judging whether or not it's coming true. Which, again, sorry to jump ahead on this very, very difficult subject, which is what is the one true religion? And that's what we're talking about, right? Because I'm not an atheist, walk down the street, smugly know that I know the answer, and then do jack shit about it. No, dude, I really would love to genuinely find a way to communicate with John Shack. Communicate in the language of the truth, right? I'm not trying to indoctrinate John Shack out of his belief. I'm literally trying to use the only tools that we have at our disposal, which are communication. I'm sorry to say, this is our one and only tool, or weapon as some call it, though don't, stop calling it that. The tool at our disposal to achieve what we're trying to do is communication. So hopefully it can reach everybody. And the only thing stopping it is I'm bad at using it. The bad practitioner stops everyone from being convinced that the thing that the culture taught them to believe, the culture was misrepresenting. It says it's more true than it is. And you can hear the culture saying it, and you can be like, no, it's less true than that. And that's sort of what I'd really love to communicate to all these people that we're talking about, because literally they would stop, right? Like, you can't keep preaching a God you don't believe in, right? They would stop. And, like, let's get them to stop. They're just being so stupid and wasting so much time and effort. And it's just really sad to me, like, if someone could have explained it to me 5 years earlier, I would have appreciated it. I do hear stories of people who leave the Mormon church at a very, very late age and still sort of are like, it's really nice to see clearly, as far as like finally wearing the glasses and seeing the sort of optical illusions that were creating this fear sort of shame spiral. It really is this sort of sad nightmare world that they propose. And relative to the real world, like honestly, they talk about their hope in Jesus and all of these things, and what they're implicitly saying is, without Jesus there's no hope. And they haven't made that argument, and I can prove against it. Like, they are just smuggling in this premise that without Jesus there's no hope, and they just hop over it like it's a given. And so one of the problems I have with talking to these real people is that they know the truth. And they know who I am, which is a tool of the adversary, and so they know that I know the truth, which is whatever the shit they believe, right? And I literally don't. And so they see me as believing what they believe, just rejecting it because I'm terrible, a terrible person. That's sort of, you can see it in their eyes when they look at me, it's the way they talk to me, and I can never ever talk them out of that position. But I'm a good faith human like them, attempting to discern the truth, and I can legitimately tell that they are failing the task here. They always see me as a demon sent here to thwart the efforts of the one true God by any means necessary. And so the way they play with me in this thing is to stop that demon by any means necessary. So they smuggle in by any means necessary through me. And so their reaction to me is just this disingenuous bullshit reaction. They don't engage with me as a person who literally doesn't understand what they believe. They think I know what they believe. They believe the one truth, and I know the one truth and reject it. Even though everyone I talk to, like literally what I'm saying is, every person who believes they're a Christian believes something different. And so here you are a different Christian, so explain to me what you believe. And they're like, you know what I believe. I believe the truth. And I'm like, yeah, the truth, like the Earth's flat? And then they go, yeah, of course. Or they go, no, what the fuck? It just is the worst, dude. Like, I'm literally asking them genuine questions. Please tell me what you believe. And they're like, fuck you for not knowing. And you can see it when they talk to me. They're like, you know, devil. That's their fucking answer to me. And I'm like, no, dude. You're the one reading the Bible. You're the one being told what it means. I have no idea what that is in your case. Please just tell me so that I understand where the fuck you're coming from. And they always say, I come from the truth, demon. It's infuriating. I wish they would stop. I fucking wish that I could talk them through that. And so we're going to try that a little bit with John Shuck. Unfortunately for him, He's a person who fucking lives in my jurisdiction. I preach on 16th Street Mall, which extends by bus via the free bus. Come and check it out. I'll prove it to you. Onion Station is part of my jurisdiction. It's just that nobody else fucking preaches down there. That's why none of my other videos are down there. Because John Shuck just heard 5 years ago, preach on this corner, and then he's going to for fucking 10 years. Like, oh, you poor dude. Like, it's sad stuff. It's like this dare culture, you know what I mean? There's no way to live in the moment. They're fucking afraid of the fucking reality, which is like, here you are, the crest of the wave, right? And they're like, no, I'm this eternal being. And you're like, oh my gosh, you're only here, in fact. Like, you're less than you think you are. You think you're this contiguous person, birth to death, right? And it's like, no, in actuality, you're the crest of the wave. You're not the wave. You're misunderstanding what it is. The wave is looking at it through time. You're not through time. You're like right fucking here and now, bro. You know, there's this, the wave continues and crests in the future, but like, the you is this moment, and, you know, that's what it will be then. Future you, past you, present you. Super neat stuff going on here at this 24-hour live stream. We've got lots in store for you. Please join us in this next 23 and almost a little more than 1.5 hours as we explore all of these things. We'll go over the entire algebra of morality. We're going to get all of our... we're going to do shots, which is happening right here. Mm-hmm. We're going to smoke joints. We're going to smoke this vape. Coming up on these next 24 hours. And please do check the links below for the GoFundMe to reopen our P.O. box so that we can get the things that are in there waiting for us. They're holding a blackmail for us. Ransomed by the national authorities. P.O. Box 30438. No, I just haven't paid my bill in years. You know, a bill I have paid, embarrassingly. I hate to tell you because of how embarrassed it makes me. But I paid for like a year of fucking the gym I never go to. My fucking cars were working and I was hitting it up and I was doing pretty good. And then I feel it right here in my fucking belly right here. And my fat butt right here. It's like... not to mention, you know, my fucking bouncy chest right here, this stuff right here. That's where I definitely feel it. Though also at night, though, with like, sort of like, I'm wearing a lot of pounds, and so sleeping is sort of like, you know, not very nimble, sort of is like, I come down pretty hard on my knees when I get into bed. It's just like a ka-jonk. You know, moving from an horizontal position into a vertical position at sort of 260 pounds is sort of like, you know, very threatening. He's throwing a lot of weight around. Also getting up, and my bones, who I think you'll remember, loves to sleep as close to the bed as possible. And he finds a new way to get closer every night. So, you know, very sort of like, very smart son of a bitch here. So what I'm going to do is attempt to open Discord for a third time. And I'm again greeted by a problem, which is like, typing is not a thing that goes down. So what I'm going to try to do is sort of like do it this other way. And I hate to do it like right here in front of you because of how like rude it is to sort of take entertainment hours to talk about backside streams hours. Upsy daisies. It's this one, right? So I want to close this. Boom. Quit Discord. And then hopefully open it up again. And I would show it to you, except I just have my address written out on my fucking computer here. It just absolutely says the address of my home and location. Just because I forget sometimes. So, oh, look at this. This thing seems to be behaving in a much different way. I was just thinking the other day about the Dork Shop, who are a dork shop who opened up in Texas. The Dork Shop opens up in Texas, and they get the I don't know, they got some of the Twitter maybe. It's hard to know, but I looked him up the other day, the other year, and then so just thinking about them and being like, man, that's a bold move, you know. Like I was gonna do it, and I like stopped in stage fucking 1.1. You know, it's like, what would I call it? I call it well, you know, I had a lot of meetings about that, but like, the dork shop is what I named my YouTube, obviously. There it is right there. And so then they opened the fucking literal one. They're like, everyone come on down and get your dork cards at the dork shop. And it's like, oh my god, I see what you're saying, but that's what we say when we get in there, right? I see what you're saying. And absolutely I agree. And of course, you know, I think I still do have up the Dungeons and Dragons games. So, you know, if I better take them down, actually. If you would like to see those, I'm holding those for ransom, motherfuckers. I've learned from the American government, apparently. I know how to play this game, then. If you're like, look, we're holding your shit for ransom, I'll be like, okay, I can do that. It's two who knows how to do this here, tango friends. That's the saying, right?
Perhaps.
Is this a shot right here?
It sure is.
Oh, neat. Welcome to the Friday that is the Friday. If you're just joining us, allow me to click into my clocks. I'm sort of finishing up some cheeseburgers right here. I mean, passwords. Oh, did I give away my fucking password? Shit. Shit. Listen, guys, you're not allowed to use any of this information. In fact, you have to promise to forget all of this information. You might have learned here about the sound of the clicks that I'm using. You're not allowed to use this. Did you know, literally... Oh, it's shots time. My apologies. I'm going to do this moment in a little bit, because we're going to stop troubleshooting and start shooting. And then after that, I hear there's a joint prepared for this portion of today's broadcast, which is brought to you by you, the viewer. Please click on the link down below and give me your money. Give me some dollar bills. I will give them to the government, and then I'll open my P.O. box, and we will see what has been accumulating in the P.O. box, much like all of these calories that I have been consuming since I've been to the gym are accumulating in my bouncy chesticles right here, which is what I was talking about earlier. Very bouncy tit area. Are you igniting? Oof. Let's begin the joint, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sharman, I do want to explain to you there are centuries-long traditions, and I'm not saying that centuries-long is why you should respect them. I'm saying, if you respect them, why not look into the centuries-long tradition that has accumulated around a sort of, like, way of understanding the dimensionality, getting a sort of different sort of viewpoint as far as, like, really reassessing the way the whole thing is put together, as far as like giving yourself a space to be uncritical about these ideas, in a way that religion is uncritical about. Sort of, I responded to Kent Hovind, allow me, or his kid, I can't remember, you know, some Twitter shit. I appreciate that. Thank you. And he was talking about how maybe I'm going to have to bring it up so that I don't misquote anybody. But you cannot see my thing, right? Because as I say, my address is printed right there for all to see. So we definitely don't want that to happen. There's probably, you know, my apologies. I said Twitter, and I do want to respect the idea of a change in personality that it looks like Elon Musk is trying to do. So I do want to talk about X, which is formerly known as Twitter. And I want to say either of those things. But it might be that saying formerly known as Twitter might be a bit too aggressive as well. So as far as like how to do it correctly, let me practice. But I think what we'll find is it won't be reciprocated. I think we're being asked to do. I think the point that is everyone believes and understands that he is asking us to do something that he would not do for anybody. So, you know, it sort of is cheating. Just like this fucking alcohol might be cheating, or this joint might be cheating, or gathering together in large groups and chanting for an hour might be cheating. It's really hard to know what would cause the self to have a religious experience. But I've heard reports of religious experiences in very strange places that you wouldn't believe. But I can show them to you. You can be sober. You can follow all the rules as far as like what you want to, rules you don't want to break. Just come with see Mark Rubier with me. It is this month. You know, anyone who donates $1,000 or more gets a ticket to come see Mark Rubier, who you might know from internet fame, at the Red Rocks Theatre, which you might know from Great Depression fame, here in the Denver area, because it's in Morrison, and they really take it offensive. You say, here in Denver, they go, it's Morrison! And they'll do it tonight, down in Morrison for you, because they very much love the tourist money. They just want you to get the fuck out of your town after your concerts over there. Like, yeah, everyone loves their fucking band. Move on, kid. They fucking hate being there, even though, you know, the theatre's older than them. So what the fuck is going on here? Not to rant. My apologies. It's probably these drugs that I'm smoking here. On stream too, on YouTube. That has gone out, so I'll let it gracefully just sort of chill right there, because of like, I don't even have to like smash it out, which I feel is like a very violent way of sort of saving more for later, you know what I mean? The joint is sort of, you know, the fire in the smoking of ganja, sort of the most aggressive part of it. Once you're past the, you know, fire, there might be burns thing, you're out in the fucking clear, dude. You're about to see some shit. Not to be like, you know, walking you through your drug experience, which I can do for $1,000 down here at Mark Robier's fucking concert. Come and join me, bro. I'll show you a motherfucking religious experience. If you don't believe me, wash these dishes. What's the line? From is that from Beauty and the Beast? Ask the dishes. That's right. If you don't believe me, ask the dishes. It's been a minute since I've watched the sort of morality tales of my youth. Part of me is I do a shot, which is, to be clarified, what is this, Skull? We're fucking drinking the Skull today, bitch! Mm-hmm. That's right. Double shots of Skull down here at the Pastafarian First, the One True Cult on Earth.com, the OneTrueCult.com. That I still own, I think. It's hard to know. All of these sort of like things go to disparate emails. They're very hard to collect. We definitely need a sort of
numbers from long past.
Yeah. There's people at the college who can organize this for us, and I will give them your money. So give me the money, and I'll give it to them, and then I'll film that, and I'll have them edit it. That'll be weird, right? But what I'm going to do right now, as I say, is sort of catch up on shots. I'm being told that there's a timer that's like clicking down, and at 12:38 I'm 8 minutes, or I'm into the take a shot segment, you know, as far as like I don't have to do it, I just have to do it before 12:45. That's what is happening here, and I know it shows up on the schedule at 12:30 shots, but like we can do them at 12:30 for the 12:30, but we don't have to. We haven't promised that we're going to do them at 12:35, which is what I thought I was explaining at that meeting 2 weeks ago, where you were wearing that other thing. We'll talk about that later. Later. So because oh shit, can you? There's a sort of a time calendar that I'm trying to hit. It's written down somewhere. Maybe it was on a napkin or something.
Don't know.
No, I might have put it in the other room. I sort of wrote it down like a month ago in the meetings where. That's alright. I think we'll figure it out after the sort of like when we get to the point of it. It is sort of like, don't worry about the schedule of things ahead, because of like there's something for every time slot, and the time slot is the time enough to worry about that something. It's been, given the time that it takes, and so it takes the time it takes as far as like nailing things. So you're going outside to like cough a lot?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm going to do the thing where I take a drink or talk about
Well,
drinking a take.
mute it while you drink it. 'Cause I
Mute it
can
while
hear
I'm drinking for the
noise over
coughing.
here.
Alright, so I did or I did not drink the booze. It's impossible for you to tell. Because of how I did it while I'm in the muted. So I'm saying that I did, but you might not believe me. You might be like, no, you didn't. It's just sort of like safe for YouTube. And so we were talking about X and how Elon Musk, who's a fucking idiot, in a way, you know what I mean? I think I can show him how he's an idiot. I think I can do it. It sort of is like, yeah, I get that you're good at math and all these things, but there's something you're really bad at and you can't understand it, so you don't know yet. And so, like, I think I can explain it because of how, like, I was really bad at it too. And it comes from this sort of, like, ability to not critically think about it. So, you know, I can show him how to do it. I think I've figured it out. It has a lot to do with sort of, like, you know, religious ideas. So we'll have some religious conversations because I don't think these people are religious at all. I think they're just really bad at it. I'd really like to talk about morality. I don't think they know what it is. I think that's a religious question. I do invite them. But hold on a second. I'm going to mute a little bit more. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. General has returned from smoking a cigarette.
Hello.
And I have been told that I'm too drunk. So, what we're going to do is not solve the problem of getting on Discord, and instead sort of sober up, and I might be allowed to stream later is what I'm being told very clearly. And like, I understand that I can't prove that's what was happening when I was muted. So to get the true recording of it, you're going to have to pay the FBI who's been recording it because of how I'm a cult leader. They have to record everything that goes on in the house I live in. And I understand. Like, I don't hold it against them. What I hold against them, what I'm mad about, is that I need that footage. So I think I'm paying the bribes that they want, right? I'm paying for the P.O. box. And then they give me all the shit they recorded on Broadcaster, right? That's how I'm going to pay the P.O. box, right? Is that not the deal? Is that not capitalism? I don't know how to understand how it works. Somehow they own it because I paid them to record it. It's hard to explain, guys. And so, you know, I'll go into politics. If you pay me to be a politician, I can go to the school that I need to go to understand what the fuck they're talking about. And bring the Pastafarian ideals and traditions to the forefront. Let's get ourselves a fucking chair at the table. We need to be explaining that we sort of have some of the answers that they're missing, and they're satirical, so if you put these glasses on, please. And they're all like, oh, my God said never put glasses on. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Oh, well, that's interesting that you say that after I said the thing about the glasses. And they're like, no, there was a mark of the beast, and that obviously means glasses. They fucking love their mark of the beast. It is always the fucking last days, dude. They will go through 50 generations saying that. They will all say that. These wonderful 2,000 last days. And you're like, what in the fuck are you guys talking about? And they're like, trust me, any day now. Probably in my lifetime. These poor bastards.
Ones that still stone witches.
Hey man, that shit can have a resurgence at any point. I think we should fucking confess that at any point, any of these motherfucking Christian groups might start burning witches. Might. It's in the fucking DNA. They can resurrect it. Any motherfucking cult leader can resurrect it with any of their fucking cults. It just takes one motherfucking dude to say it. And they give each other the pulpit and they're like, I don't know what, say something. And they go up there and they're like, it's time to start burning witches again. I know where we fucking let God down. He was supposed to return, but we didn't do it right because we're not burning the witches, it says.
Or the gays.
Or the gays. Yeah, right. Or, you know, or anyone who's literally not in this room for every of those fucking rooms. Because obviously we're the only ones who understand the true gospel, because that's how it feels. My group, no matter how small, is the true group, obviously.
Mormons first. Let's burn the Mormons, and then the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Hey man, I ain't burning Mormons, but what I'm saying is a lot of people are going to call Mormons witches. I'm not going to burn the witches, I'm not going to burn the Mormons.
I'm not going to burn anyone.
I'm out of that. I passed the fucking test of Abraham. He's like, kill your son. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Right? That's the test of Abraham. Who's talking? Pardon me. Kill your fucking son for me. Who the fuck just said that? The one true God? I fucking doubt it, eh? How easy is this, eh? Oh my God. And they're all like, Abraham's amazing because he's like, okay. Maybe he wanted to anyway, and he's just so happy that his son was like, maybe it's just a story he was telling his kid. I was this fucking close to killing you, motherfucker. You might not remember it, but I took you up in the mountains and just, I was gonna fucking kill you, and God said, don't fucking kill that guy. And I was like, oh God, let me kill this motherfucker. Next time he tells me, they might not be around, dude. Who knows how that shit started? Fucking nightmare. Failing the test of Abraham, shit. And then all these people are sitting in the room and they're threatening all the kids in their room. Your fucking parents would kill you if God told them to. And they're like, we're not saying that. I'm like, I know, you're having that guy say it. You're not following the man here. You're sitting in a room where he's saying it in your place and he says, Abraham was right. And here's another thing. I'd fucking do it. God damn, horrifying. When I was young, I had the thought. I remember the thought, and I was sort of delighted in how childish it was to have it at the time. And we were coming home from church, and it was raining, and I was like, raining? How the fuck is it raining? I didn't say fuck in my head at those times. I didn't learn fuck until middle school, really. I was like, how on earth is it possibly raining on Sunday? They fucking named it... Again, I didn't think fucking there. Sort of how I do it. They named it Sunday because that's when the sun shines to prove that fucking Jesus is the Lord. And it was like, no, it's raining on a Sunday. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I guess he doesn't love Sundays if he's raining on one. Wouldn't that be just the perfect miracle? It was like, yeah, there's the sun, right? Sunday. But there's no fucking way to determine if it's Sunday. You don't know if you're right. Some motherfucker could have lied. How are you going to fucking track that shit down? How do you know it's Sunday? You idiot! They were in charge of the calendar, and they're like, they put Sunday on Sunday. It means it. They told the truth there. They moved the fucking thing around according to the sun. It's not 12,023? What the fuck is it? Hold on. I gotta check my... I've got a clock here. Oh shit! It's 10/6. 12,023. That's my birthday. Did you know that? I was 45 years old today.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry that I've got to cancel my 24-hour stream, but apparently I drank all the booze in the first hour. I misread the thing, and sort of like, I took the booze and I did them in a row, because there was a chart over here that was like, all of it in a row, but it was like on the drinks thing, and so it didn't have anything else in there. So I was reading that, and it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, but it was like, you know, spaced out, which I did not do. So I have to get off the air because of how, like, drunk people are not consensual people. Which is the thing that I'm told in a certain way. And sort of like, there's a thing about alcohol, and there's a thing about marijuana, just as, you know, as a Pastafarian shaman, with, you know, placebo's great. I can do placebo. I can get that shit to work for you if you fucking can do a placebo. Which I can. I'll show it. I'll show you. My apologies. I don't mean to scoff. Like, that really is scoffing. A lot of times I get accused of it, and I'm like, no, dude, when I'm sober, I don't. They're all like, you're mocking us. And it's like, literally, you haven't even seen me mock. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm so good at mocking. You haven't seen me. I've been really chill. And they're like, you're mocking. And I'm like, I'm disagreeing. And they're like, well, that's what it feels like to me. So, you know, I'd really like to mock them so they can see how much it fucking burns. Because it would be nice to mock them. But I really don't know many atheists who really be like, hey, you know, it's like Santa Claus. Like, I get it, of like, we really should have been like, but we sort of like approach it in a good faith, and it's like, hey, so if a Muslim were, like, not many people are like, you fucking idiot. And for them, for that to be the only voice they hear, it really is because they're seeking out that voice. Like, as far as like looking for good faith conversations, I don't know a Christian who is. I don't know, they're not developing the language of it. I think here out in the good faith conversation community, we see a dearth of Christians because of how they cannot follow the newer rules. They're following sort of 2,000-year-old rules intentionally because it sort of drives to their hallucination or illusion, or I don't want to sort of put a name on it yet, not to be accusatory or mocking, just sort of understanding, as it were. And only because I myself have only been I've only been decultured for a decade. As a 45-year-old person, which I am, I don't know if I told you that. But I'm turning 45 today. But I was going to stream it, but I can't. But the thing that I know is, don't remember, I was one. I believed it, dude. Before a decade, you know, I am whatever sort of thing I would accuse you of. I'm not mocking. I'm fucking... Obviously, it's not mocking. It's commiserating, hopefully. I thought it was in the language. I thought that by showing that I understood the poetry of it, they could see that I was a genuine interlocutor, but I don't know what they are listening for. I don't... It's a hard dance to do out there in the streets with John Shuck. But please do send cash money to my P.O. Box so that we can get it from being blackmailed by the American government, who's probably listening and recording this. So do say hello to them from me, and please do be like, hey, chill out, guys, don't tase me, bro. You know, like, a lot of people, like, there's weapons around, and I'm not looking for the sort of weapons game or anything like that. I don't really think the First Amendment is a fun and flirty game we play with the least amount of physical effect as possible. I think it is a battle of the minds that can be done over the radio. Though, it is hard to know. It is hard to know who's a genuine interlocutor unless you see him face to face. Like, the AI is in a place such that you don't know. You don't know that I'm not AI. You don't know you're not a fucking thing in a jar. Like, the things that are indiscernible are indiscernible. So all you're looking for is, like, how much does that thing look like a genuine person? And then there's the other side of it, which I can't really see by the time I have understood the left of it. There is understanding the left and the right of it, and I only do see the left at the moment. Though I don't even see the left side anymore, as far as, like, whatever we're talking about or anything. So if you would please, now that it's 1 o'clock in the AM and we're into the second hour of our 24-hour live stream, I am getting handed new papers here with sort of like a new schedule and some numbers, and I'm being told again that I misunderstood one schedule for the other schedule, because they tell me that it takes reminding that I have drunken all of the booze for all of the stream, and so I am the drunkest, and I might vomit, and so I have to end the stream, but maybe I don't have to if I don't vomit, so that's what I'm saying. So, we'll see how that works out, because of how rational and logical things are. But I also have been told that Joe's boyfriend Nick is coming by, and she's going to need to leave the room for like 5 or 10 or 15 minutes every once in a while, because of how the sort of like format of the broadcasting is. And so I'm interpreting these ideas live from things that I'm reading, and I'm doing very well at it, I might add. I'm surprised at how well I'm doing reading this thing off these papers that are handed to me. Because I feel like one of the things I have to do is like read a thing and understand it, and then I go, oh, here's what it's fucking saying. But like, if I'm just reading it, as far as like a performative thing, I'm like telling it to you, and then I understand it afterwards, I have to read it afterwards. Like, I can't really like performatively read something and understand it at the same time. So it's hard to know how good I am at reading notes, especially because of like what I'm saying is, this is a sort of, we haven't been doing music, right? Like, we've had the music off, the music's coming from somewhere else. I'm listening to music. If you guys would listen to music, that would be great, because of how, like, YouTube won't allow me to do music. I'll have to broadcast to sort of like a more Christian thing if I want to add music to my broadcast, because it has to be on cable. They have grandfathered in these sort of like old ideas, some sort of VHS ideas, you know what I mean? Some UHF ideas, some sort of analog ways of doing things on the broadcast networks that were set up by generations ago, you know, in the last days. Anyway, I think I have to go. So I appreciate that I'm not allowed to vomit on camera. And I apologize that